The NFL landscape has just been completely shattered. The Pittsburgh Steelers have officially parted ways with Mike Tomlin after 19 legendary seasons, and this single move has thrown the entire coaching market into absolute chaos. We have a mountain of breaking news to get through before we decide if he's the right man for Las Vegas. We are breaking down every angle of this massive shakeup, so do me a huge favor and smash that like button and subscribe right now. Let's build this community into the strongest force in the NFL. The breaking news and facts. We have to start right at the top because the news cycle is moving at a blistering pace today. If you are just tuning in or you've been away from your phone since the game's wrapped up, here is the headline that is shaking the league: Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers are done. After 19 seasons leading the black and gold, the two sides have agreed to part ways. This comes immediately following yesterday's brutal playoff loss to the Houston Texans. It was a tough watch, and apparently, it was the final straw. The Steelers organization just released an official statement from team president Art Rooney. While I won't read the entire legal document, the key takeaways are significant. Rooney expressed extreme gratitude for Tomlin's hard work, dedication, and success over the nearly 2 decades. He highlighted the 6 Super Bowl appearances, the victory in Super Bowl 43, and the fact that Tomlin guided the franchise to the playoffs 13 times with 8 AFC North titles. The most insane stat from the statement: Tomlin leaves Pittsburgh having never recorded a single losing season in 19 years. Rooney called his passion and dedication unmatched, but clearly, a change had to be made. But that is just the tip of the iceberg regarding the news today. Insider Jordan Schultz was the first to break the story, and he is already reporting that he has received texts from 3 different coaches currently in the hiring cycle who are now eyeing the Pittsburgh job. This opening immediately rivals the vacancies in Las Vegas and Baltimore as the premier destination. Now, let's run through the rest of the league-wide updates you need to know, because the dominoes are falling fast. First up, Albert Breer is reporting that Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter is officially the most popular man in football. Minter has received interview requests from 8 different teams: the Browns, Cardinals, Dolphins, Falcons, Giants, Ravens, Titans, and yes, the Raiders. With the Pittsburgh job opening up, you can almost guarantee he is about to get a 9th request. Next, Tom Pelissero is reporting on Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. He is interviewing for the Titans head coaching job today. Hafley's schedule is packed. He is also set to speak with the Falcons, Cardinals, Dolphins, and the Raiders. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur commented on this Monday, stating he fully anticipates Hafley landing one of these jobs. Speaking of Green Bay, there is a very interesting report from ESPN's Rob Demovsky regarding Matt LaFleur himself. It appears the Packers are working on a contract extension, but there is some friction. The speculation is that Green Bay might be offering a deal they know he won't take to save face, or LaFleur might be demanding top-tier money, around $16 million. While he is currently employed, this is a situation to monitor closely because if talks break down, that job could open up too. In other AFC West news, the Los Angeles Chargers are cleaning house. They have fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman and their offensive line coach. This signals that Jim Harbaugh is looking to completely revamp his offensive staff. There are already rumors swirling that he might look at Sharon Moore, who was just let go by Michigan, which would be a fascinating reunion. Finally, regarding Brian Flores, his contract with the Minnesota Vikings officially expires on January 14. Sources have indicated the Raiders have had interest in Flores for weeks, but with the Pittsburgh and Baltimore jobs now open, Flores, who has history in that division, might be looking at a return to the AFC North. He interviewed with Baltimore today, and the market for his services is heating up rapidly. Rhetorical question: so, with all of those facts laid out and the coaching market more crowded than we have seen in years, I have to ask you, does the availability of a Hall of Fame coach like Mike Tomlin change our entire strategy, or is his resume blinding us to the reality of his recent performance? The Tomlin to Vegas debate. Now that we have covered the news, we have to have the conversation that every single Raiders fan is having right now. The text messages, the tweets, the DMs, they are all asking the same thing. should the Raiders hire Mike Tomlin? I understand the appeal. I really do. You look at the resume and you see stability. For a franchise like ours, which has been a carousel of chaos for 2 decades, the idea of a coach who never has a losing season sounds like paradise. I grew up in Pennsylvania, in the 570 area code. I know what Mike Tomlin represents. When he stands at a podium, you listen. He is a leader of men, undeniably. I remember sitting in my buddy's living room watching him hoist the Lombardi Trophy after Super Bowl 43 against the Seahawks. The man is a legend. However, we cannot hire a coach based on what they did in 2008. We have to hire a coach for what they can do in 2026. And this is where I have to be brutally honest with you. Tomlin is not my number 1 candidate. Whatever magic he had in Pittsburgh seems to have faded when it matters most, in January. Yes, he never had a losing season, but look at the playoff record. Since 2017, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 0-6 in the postseason. 0 wins. 6 losses. I know, as Raiders fans, we would kill to even be in the playoffs 6 times in that span. It's easy to sit here and say, I'd take 0-6 over missing the playoffs entirely. But is that really the goal? The goal isn't just to be relevant, the goal is to win a Super Bowl. We have the number 1 overall pick. We have cap space. We are positioned to build a dynasty, not just a team that finishes 9-8 and loses in the wild card round. Question of the day: this is the most important debate of the offseason, so I want to hear from you directly. This will be the pinned comment on today's video. Is Mike Tomlin your number 1 choice for the next Raiders head coach? Type Y for yes, or N for no. Be honest. Do you want the floor of Tomlin, or do you want to swing for the fences with a younger, offensive mind? Let me know in the comments. The quarterback dilemma: here is the biggest reason why I am hesitant, and it is a massive one: quarterback development. We hold the keys to the franchise with the number 1 overall pick. Whether you are on the Fernando Mendoza hype train like I am, or you prefer another prospect, the reality is we are drafting a rookie quarterback. We need a head coach who can nurture, develop, and build a system around a young signal caller. Look at Tomlin's recent track record. He had a chance to restart with a young guy. He signed off on Kenny Pickett in the first round. He co-signed that selection. And it was an absolute disaster. Pickett didn't develop. The offense was stagnant. They ended up trading him away, he bounced to the Eagles, then the Browns. It was a mess. Instead of developing a rookie, Tomlin has shown a preference for veteran retreads. He brought in Russell Wilson. He looked at Aaron Rodgers. He wants the finished product because he wants to win now to keep that no-losing season streak alive. I am done with the Band-Aids. I don't want another Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't want a Gardner Minshew. I want to draft Fernando Mendoza, and I want a coach who is obsessed with making him a star. If Tomlin couldn't get it done with Pickett, and if his instinct is to go sign a 35-year-old veteran, he is the wrong fit for the Las Vegas Raiders right now. We need innovation, not preservation. The legacy and timing factor: there is also a human element to this that we have to consider. Reports are already circulating that Tomlin might take a year off. And frankly, he should. He has been grinding in that pressure cooker for 19 years. Maybe he goes to TV, recharges his batteries, and comes back in a year or 2. But the Raiders need someone now. We need a coach who is hungry to make their name. Think about it: John Gruden already had his legacy from Tampa. Josh McDaniels had his legacy from New England. Even a guy like Pete Carroll had his USC and Seattle legacy. When you hire a legend on the back 9 of their career, sometimes you get a guy who is trying to protect his reputation rather than build a new one. I want the next great head coach. I want a guy who looks at the Las Vegas job as the opportunity of a lifetime, not just a soft landing spot. The competition and the Flores factor. Let's circle back to the news I mentioned at the top regarding Brian Flores. This is a situation that could get tricky for us. I know there were rumors that the Raiders might offer him a massive contract, maybe $6 or $7 million, to come be our defensive coordinator if he doesn't get a head coaching gig. We did it with Patrick Graham, we did it with Chip Kelly. But with the Pittsburgh and Baltimore jobs open, Brian Flores is likely looking at those openings and seeing dollar signs. If he can pit those two AFC North rivals against each other, his price tag goes through the roof. And honestly, with his history in that division, I think he ends up there. And for those Raiders fans worried that we might hire Flores as our head coach, I'm telling you right now, with those other jobs open, I don't think there is a chance in hell he ends up in silver and black. And that might be for the best. To wrap this up, the firing of Mike Tomlin is a historic moment for the NFL. It changes the variables for every team looking for a coach. It adds a new, attractive destination in Pittsburgh that we have to compete with. But for the Raiders, we have to stay the course. We have to think with our heads, not our hearts. We need a young, innovative coach to pair with our #1 overall pick. We need to build for the next decade, not just for next season. I am going to be going live again later today to track any new developments because things are changing by the minute. We still have that jersey giveaway to do for the Fernando Mendoza jersey since I forgot to run it last night, my bad, I was too distracted by the Texans' win. But for now, keep your eyes on the ticker, keep your notifications on, and let's see how the Raiders navigate this chaos.